Aloha y'all. So today, the day that I'm filming this video is on the Pisces full moon, and today I had a random topic pop into my head that I want to talk about. So everybody has different vices, right? And I think the best way to overcome them is to, one, say that it's not off limits, because as soon as you reject that part of your subconscious, you know, because vices live in the subconscious. They're not like consciously. Sometimes they influence your conscious reality because it's almost like a magnetic pull, you know, when you feel like called to do something, or say smoking pot was something that I've overcome, okay? And now it's like I've befriended this vice, so I'm on good terms with this vice, and every time I feel I have like a little bit of cannabis oil like left in my vape. This dude gave me a long time ago, and I like every now and then from time to time I do it in rituals only, usually new moon and full moons. I like to do rituals. I love to do it before yoga or before I practice breath work, because it really takes me into a deeper state that allows my mind to just be out the way and I otherwise. So the thing is, like, these medicines that are given to us, when people are abusing it every day, that's when it becomes an issue, because you're not in control of your own consciousness. I think marijuana is a very amazing medicine from the earth, and if we're able to use it intentionally rather than, you know, it used to be like I got off work and I had to smoke, or, you know, just it's like a way of escaping, right? And that's when the issue comes in. But if it's like something that you're going to commit to for the day, like, you know, you're gonna partake in this ritual with this herb, you know, and it becomes a very powerful tool that you can use to actually unlock different higher parts of your consciousness, and rather than letting it control you. Because when something is like when something is out of your control, it means that the shadow side of yourself is beginning to take a bigger part of your light, and that's not the goal. Because the goal is you want to stay in the light, but also knowing the power of your shadows and allowing that to be transformative in your life, because you're able to transmute the power of the magnetic pull of the vice into something that once you gain mastery over something that is like so deeply pulling you in the subconscious, right? Once you gain mastery of that, it's like everything in your reality is under your control. So first of all, you want to be not relying on anything outside yourself, and then you want to allow these plants to teach you what you need to learn from it, right? It's like a whole journey, it's a whole trip. That's why they call it. So that's why I call it taming the dragon, because the kundalini is like from the base of the spine to through the crown, right? Also, it's important to remember that we're made out of energy, right? So everybody knows the 7 main physical chakras, but then there's also energy meridians, which is practiced in Eastern medicine, and certain vices are linked to, so your organs are linked to a different element as well as an emotion. So we call them meridians. So they're like channels that run through the body, and you either have a deficiency or an excess of chi energy, mana, prana, whatever you want to call it, organ energy, whatever you want to call it. There's either an excess or deficiency, and you want to create balance in those as well, because those are the channels that make up the chakras, okay? So when you look at the physical body and how it ties into the spiritual body, you want to realize like the organs is like the first thing you want to focus on. So the 5 main organs in Eastern medicine is the heart, which is related to happiness, joy. Then you have the kidneys and the urinary system, which is related to water and fear. The stomach and the pancreas are related to earth and nourishment. The lungs are related to emotion, grief, and the element air. And the liver is related to fire and the emotion, anger. So these are just certain universal truths in everybody's physical body, you know, which we want to gain mastery over, because once you begin to open the higher 3 spiritual chakras, you know, and the heart is like the center point that connects your spiritual being to your physical being. So that's why it's so important to be healing the heart, you know. The Egyptians talk about in the afterlife weighing of the heart and the feather. If the emotional weight of your grief and your karma in your life in this lifetime is heavier than a feather, because emotional weight can manifest as like tension in the heart, you know, like And also, like, chakra imbalances are another thing that a lot of people are unaware of, how much it can actually affect your everyday life. So for example, if you're like lacking motivation, that means your solar plexus, your will to do things, to act, your Mars energy is dormant, or just like not activated to its highest potential. So what can you do about that? Go get in the sun, you know, at least an hour, absorb all the information, the new information that is bringing you into a higher state of consciousness. Because so it's important to remember how everything really is connected, you know, the spiritual, the emotional, the physical, the subconscious, the mental, what you tell yourself every day. All of these things are connected to make your who you are in this present moment. And with the energies coming to this planet, it's important to remember that who you become is what you are able to adapt to based on your mind creating your reality, because all is mind. The way that the physical manifests is completely dependent upon how your energy centers are operating. So this is on like, if you're not aware of your chakras or your meridians in the body, then if you're not like tuned into those like frequencies that you can't see, then you're gonna start wondering why certain things are happening to you, when in reality it's like, it's because of your actions, and it's about taking responsibility. And another thing I notice is that the more you're entangled with that vice, the more you're dancing with it, battling it, trying to control it, when really the vice is like pulling you in the direction that it's pulling you in. I realize that synchronicities you see a lot less, but in the grand scheme of things, it actually is serving your higher self, because when you're able to dip into the subconscious shadows and discover a deeper part of yourself that is there, then you're able to bring it into light and integrate this into power, you know? So that is actually what allows us to evolve. The fact that we do have certain vices that you know, the mind says is good or bad, right? And if you are very intentional with it, which is the goal, eventually you want to like ascend all of it and not be attached to it. But yeah, when you're like engaging in it, you want to be very intentional and conscious and aware of where your energy bodies are at, so where your mind is at, how you're seeing it. You know, you want to become the observer, you want to become your higher self, even though you allow yourself to visit these things from time to time, because there's always a lesson there. You know, if you're not ready to let something go on a soul level, it means that there's still a lesson there. It's a karmic tie that you have. So you want to look within yourself when certain like nudges and like pulls in the so-called wrong direction come up. But the main thing is you can't say it's completely off limits when you haven't fully healed from it yet. And in the power of just being like, I forgive myself, or I love myself completely, and embracing that side, that's exactly what you need to do to integrate it into your life. So thanks for tuning in today. Don't forget to subscribe, comment down below if this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you in my next video.